Now what happens sometimes with oversized and especially heavy loads is that they're sending you on lots of detours. So look at this. I'm still in Arkansas and it takes forever, like from Ontario to Texas. That's what you have to go through sometimes. Actually, it's more common than going in a freeway. And they didn't allow me to go through Little Rock. So instead I left at this exit 193 on I-40, basically about an hour west of West Memphis. And then it's all like this, 63, 165, so hold on, let me just change my e-look here. I was on duty yard move because I saw that, you know, I have plenty of fuel, but my def got pretty low, and I checked the distance trying to get to Texarkana, and from here it's still 180 miles. And these guys, like, it's a small truck stop. I just turned on this US 65 North. It's Dumas, I don't know. And check this out. The diesel is 285, which is this morning I paid 273.9. Got both tanks full, but DEF, I never saw such a low price on DEF. It's 1.699, you know. And I saw that they have automatic, you know, pumps in here. So, and I asked them, I was sitting there, and then I just went like this. You can probably see the tracks in the dirt. That was me back in here. And so now, yeah, I did this 63 south, 165 south, and 60 miles, and then now I turned right on northwest on 65, and now check this out. Now we're gonna go back. Right, I just came from here. I was over here. You see, I was over there, or rather here. Sorry for my crooked finger. So I was here and I went like this, and now we're going back, and then over here we're jumping on this 530, but not for long. As soon as I jump on this 530 in Pine Bluff, they want me to take 79 back south. It's like one huge detour, and then 79, follow west, and then in Camden I jump on US 278, and then finally I get back to US 30, probably just 10 miles away from my destination, Texarkana, the Flying J there. And so I'm talking to the consignee, and you see I managed to program all this in there, but just in case I wrote it down like this. That's what you do, you know, right, left, straight, so that not to get lost. And I'm just gonna show you guys the brief POV driving on this US 65. Like, it's very cold. Actually, for some reason I'm going south and the temperature increases. I mean, decreases. And it was very windy, so I'm burning a lot of diesel. Yeah, the DEF was at a quarter, now it's going back to full. And now I gotta stop my audiobook because my MP3 will start playing. And I cannot stop it unless it starts playing. Then I can hit pause. Come on. Or do you want it dead? And so this is what I got. You know, my favorite form of entertainment when driving, it's MP3. So you only use one disc, but actually these books are so long. So I'm listening to Tom Clancy, Dead or Alive, and then there's another book, Against All Enemies. So this was $14.95 US. Check this out. Total hours is 38 hours 50 minutes of listening. So $14.95, almost 40 hours of books. Unbelievable, you know, like And I hate those CD discs because you have to pop them in and out all the time. Like here, usually there's just one disc for one book, but these are so big because they're unabridged. Each book has 2. Yeah, this is still Dead or Alive. That's what I'm listening. And then there's very, very nice. Anyway, let's get going. So that's my destination, US 65. So we got fuel this morning. I'm burning. The rate is pretty bad. And I got an email this morning from the trailer place where they're building the Jeep, and I went there, right? I went there with my truck so they can do the measurements, right? And then they sent a guy to do another set of measurements, and now they emailed me and they said, we just wanted to bring the trailer in December. We want to do the final check, because turns out they're very concerned about the legs, you know, like the support that goes on my frame. Like now I have that support on under the gooseneck. You know, when I disconnect from the trailer, there's those little support legs that go down, and this allows the neck to stay up without and not hit the ground, right? So they have the same thing on the Jeep, I think. No, wait a second. But anyway, so it's something about these legs that they're very confused, and they said, okay, we're gonna work with you. Just please bring your trailer in December. Basically, the Jeep will be done, and they want to just hook up everything, make sure everything works, you know. So like, to me, it's not something I don't like. It's just, to me, it says that these guys are very, very diligent, and they want to make a good product where everything fits, you know. Because somebody else could have just said, hey, okay, come and pick up your Jeep, you know. And then it's not working, cannot be connected. And so I said, let's do it closer to Christmas, because that's when it's gonna slow down. And they said, okay, no problem. And they said, then you can pick it up in in January, because that's what I told them. I said I don't need the Jeep in December. So now this is Mitchellville, population 497, a busy, thriving little town. And this US 65 is much better than the 165 I was on before. Yeah, that one was better than US 63 I was on before that. So my lights, my flashing lights are on the roof, my headlights are on. That's why the dash is so dim. So it's all fields. I went through a bunch of small towns where houses were falling down. You see lots of empty, vacant land on both sides of the freeway. Oh, check this out. It turns into a divided highway. See that yellow sign? That's good. That means there shouldn't be any lights. See, these guys are underwater. Wow. yeah, the temperature now is +7 Celsius, which is under 50 F. And the broker asked me to call the consignee with my ETA. I call the number and it says not accepting calls from outside of US. What? And I was trying to call with my Canadian number from my Canadian phone. And so I emailed the broker. I said, I cannot reach this guy. Give me somebody else. And so they gave me another guy. I called that guy. I said, are you on site? He says, well, I'm in Indiana. And I said, well, Indiana is a bit, you know, far away from Texas, right? He says, yeah, but I'll give you a couple of numbers, guys right there on the site. He says, the number you called before, actually, that guy left the company. Oh, really? Okay. And so they gave me a cell number for some guy. I called there. He's on site. Explained to me how to get there. I double-checked the address. And I told him, I said, I'm still pretty far because I have lots of detours, so they add a considerable amount of miles. Check out this car. Passing me is a Challenger. I think it's like mine. Let's see if it has a 6. Oh, doesn't have 6.4 on the door, so that means that it's just a 5.7 or even a V6. So mine is better. And so yeah, I said I'll try to make it by Friday night, but from Texarkana to that place where I'm going, Santa Monica, Texas, it's over 600 miles. So I definitely cannot do that in one day. And so the plan today is to reach Texarkana, and it's already 12:25 local time, so I can do that. And then I need to get at least a couple of hours south into Texas. Then I can have enough time tomorrow maybe to reach the site by the end of the day. But I said, if I don't make it, can you guys unload me on Saturday? And he says, yeah, just give us a call. Because I knew this, because these guys, you know, when they do when they work on these job sites, it's like a 2 weeks or whatever, you know, a shift, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And so they don't care. They don't have a life anyway, so they're sitting there somewhere probably sleeping in the camp, you know. And that's what I was counting on, and so that's the update. If I cannot deliver tomorrow, Friday, I can still deliver Saturday. And the machine was behaving. I was just checking all my chains. Everything is good. You gotta check them regularly, right, to make sure the load is secure. But I got an issue in Michigan because the machine started tilting. For some reason, I look from the side and I don't remember that it was so, you know, sitting sideways. And I called the plant, went to Google Maps, found their phone number, called the plant. I said, guys, what's going on here? And they said, oh, it was doing the same in the shop, but that's where they were supposed to fix that. I think they fixed that. Just, he told me which switch to flip. He said, start the machine and raise the cutter, or as I call it, the knife. Just raise it, and then you can, there was a button, like a rocker switch, and you can tilt the machine left and right. And so he explained, I read the manual before I called the guy, and then he told me what to do, and over the phone, and I started this huge monster and tilted it. it was a bit scary, and then I put down the cutter and secured it, And so it was not me, it was not my fault. I did everything correctly with the securement, with the chains. It was just the machine. They left one switch in the wrong position at the factory, and that allowed the machine to start, you know, tilting a little bit when it was off. And so basically with these loads, you gotta pay close attention, right? A big load, heavy, but other than that, the trailer sits a bit sideways, but there's nothing you can do. This is the second machine like this I'm moving. The first one was different design, but the same idea. That one, they loaded the cutter on the passenger side of the trailer, and the trailer was sitting lower on that side. All right, what is this? This is some huge town over here. Pine Bluff, straight. Yeah, Pine Bluff is where I'm catching my freeway for a few miles before jumping off on US 79. So that's what the trucker's life is about. Securing, loading, unloading, driving. And driving is probably the easiest part of the job. Because the securing, knowing how to secure, and then quite often I have to load myself a piece of machinery I never saw in my life before, to be able to learn quickly how to operate them all by yourself. But this one, as you saw in the previous video, I did not load. And it was helpful to have those manuals. They left two beefy manuals on the floor. And when I was in Michigan, before calling, I grabbed that manual. I went to Starbucks across the street. And while drinking coffee, I read through the manual, the operating procedures, so I had a good idea of the layout of the buttons and switches. And then when I called the guy, he's telling me, you know, do that switch, and I knew which one he was talking about. You know, it was helpful to do that self-training, so to speak. And then of course another big part of the job is navigation. Like I order my permits through a permit service company. I'm still flirting with an idea of doing it myself, but I use a company out of Iowa, and they're not bad. But then you have to program this into your navigation system or your GPS, right? And this trip, I had lots of detours. I had detour in Michigan, I had detours in Indiana. I don't remember Illinois, but Missouri was straight, 55, 57. And then Arkansas is probably the biggest detour. And Texas is just a regular route. I didn't see anything special over there, just from Texarkana, Arkansas, down on 59 towards Houston. And my destination is a couple of hours west and south of Houston, basically right under San Antonio, south of San Antonio, west of Houston. So that's where I'm going. And you see, it looks okay, right? The weather looks fine, but now we have, I think it's 8 Celsius. Okay. So when it hits 10 Celsius, that's 50, which means that it's about 47, 48. Very cold. and super windy. Well, this is 78 or 79. US 79 south. Looks like I'm somewhere in the forest. The temperature went up by 1 degree Celsius. Now we at 9, plus 9, which is still below 50 F. Looks like Northern Ontario on US 11, US 11 and 17. It's pretty similar. Huh. Yeah, looks like Canada. Well, once again the road looks like something out of Canada, Northern Ontario, but in fact this is still Arkansas, and now I'm on US 278. This is pretty much the last 2-lane that I have to take in order to get to I-30. And I still have about, I don't know, 30-40 miles to the interstate. And the weather, the temperature finally went over 10 C or 50 F. Now it's plus 11, which is somewhere around 52 F. But it's pretty warm in the truck. I had to take off my sweater. This is what it looks like. Arkansas, US 278. Never been here. unload in the boonies. I guess we're gonna stop rolling here, otherwise the video will be too boring. Thanks for watching. I'm probably gonna deliver tomorrow and we'll do an unloading video. Bye.